So tonight, welcome. I'm so glad you guys are joining me. We have a very important topic. So many people don't understand the importance of their kidney functions. And a lot of people don't even really know what kidneys do, and they don't know why it's important to take care of them, and they don't know what causes them to be damaged. They don't know what causes them to be healthy. So we're going to cover all of that tonight. And I just feel like there's so many people. I've gotten lots of emails lately about people asking me about, you know, how do I check if I have kidney damage, or what do I do if I have this or this? So last week I did a class on foamy urine, which is kind of kicking off this little mini kidney series I'm doing. And so we talked last week about what causes foamy urine and protein in the urine and things like that. So this is tonight we're talking about something similar except more in depth. We're talking about what things and what symptoms are causing kidney damage, and what are the symptoms, like what are the warning signs that your kidneys are toxic, or that your kidneys need some help. And if you have any of these symptoms I'm going to be talking to you about, it's always good to just maybe tighten up your diet and some other things I'm going to be teaching you tonight, so that you can give your kidneys a little bit of help, because they do a lot of things. And one of the main things it does is filter, and we'll talk about that too. So as I always say at the beginning of every single class, it's not just one thing that's causing your kidneys to fail, or it's not just one thing that's causing your kidneys to become damaged. It's not just one thing for anything. Any disease, any symptom is more than just one thing. So it's always a combination of one or two or all of these combined. Okay, so if you have inflammation in the body, if your hormones are out of balance, if you are stressed out, so many of you ladies are stressed to the hilt. And when your body is stressed out, your body breaks down. It breaks down. There's many parts of your body's systems that break down, including digestion, hormones, nerves, your mind. I mean, things break down when you're stressed. So that's a huge one. If you're just very inactive, if you have a bad attitude, like your mindset is a huge part of your body creating stress or not being able to heal your body on a cellular level or even on an emotional level. If you're on medications, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but medications are one of the hardest things on your kidneys. Now, you're being told that when you take medications, it's going to heal. Well, you're probably not, your doctors aren't probably saying it's healing it. They're saying it's treating it. So, because it's definitely not healing. Medications don't heal. They don't heal. They can't. You're putting a foreign substance in your body, and medications will always, it's putting a band-aid on the symptom, and it's medicating and treating a disease or treating a symptom. It's never healing it. Don't be fooled. If your doctor is saying, oh, take this medication, you're going to be healed, it's just not true. So medications are actually putting a lot of pressure and doing a lot of damage to your kidneys. And I'll explain why. So your whole goal should be to try to get off medications, because the medications are very toxic for your body and in general, a lot of parts of your body, but especially your kidneys. And then if you're not eating right and putting the wrong foods in, of course, that's going to cause an imbalance in the body. And then also, when you're not eating the right foods, you're also causing nutritional deficiencies. So if you're not getting the nutrients from either supplements, or you're not getting the nutrients from your food because our food is so depleted, all of this is going to cause imbalance in the body. So, we have to just be very cognizant of all the areas of the body and all those areas that can cause imbalance. So let's first talk about, where are your kidneys? Well, your kidneys are these two little, like, lima bean shaped organs in the back, in your back. Okay, so they're located right underneath your rib cage in your lower back. And what do they do? Well, they do a lot. And they're very, very, very important for filtering out all of the toxic things that come into your body. Okay, so what happens is it filters out. It's kind of like a strainer. So if you see over here, when I'm pouring, like, this is, I think, just orange juice, and you filter it through, and it's putting the urine through, but it's if you look at this and you pretend it's urine, right? It's not, but it's orange juice. But if you look at orange juice, it has pulp in it. the pulp is staying in, and then it's filtering out all the bad stuff, and it's excreting all the other stuff as urine. So it gets rid of the toxic things, and then it will reabsorb all the good things. And so the more you lose of this complex filtering system, look at the kidneys, it's very complex. So the more you lose function of this, it's going to start backing up into the system. And the kidney problems are directly related to its filtering systems when they're damaged. Okay, we filter 180 liters of blood every 21 hours. So that blood filters through and it excretes as urine. Okay. So here are some of the early symptoms. Like these are really early symptoms of having kidney damage. One is a metallic taste in your mouth. This means that those toxins are backing up into the system. Number two, you have this itchiness everywhere, again, because that stuff is backing up. And also if you have ammonia tasting breath, and this also means that your kidneys are toxic. So those are some of the early symptoms of kidney issues. Okay, here are some of the major symptoms though. A lot of you will notice these issues when your kidneys start to become damaged. One is edema, and that's swelling. So if you can put your finger on your lower leg or your ankle, and if it leaves a dent, that means your body is not working your kidneys aren't working very well, because the kidney and liver work together. So if you have pinning edema in your lower extremities, your kidneys are toxic. Also, you're going to notice it underneath your eyes. You're going to see these kind of puffin, swollen bags underneath your eyes, and that is a sign that your kidneys are backing up. Another common one is high blood pressure, because if you think about it, if the filter is damaged, right? If the filtering system is damaged in the kidneys, it's going to inhibit blood flow to the kidney, and it's going to back up. And that back pressure, and one of the problems with high blood pressure is that pressure itself, and that damages the kidneys. And if you have too much pressure through this pipe, right, and it's hitting the filter, it's going to have, it's kind of like if you have a water filter, right, to your house, and you put too much pressure on the pipes, it's going to damage the filtering mechanism. Okay, so the kidney, being it's a filter, and it's made up of these little filters called glomeruli, and each kidney, by the way, has about 1 million of these, and all of these little glomeruli have these filtering systems, and when those are damaged, it's causing that pressure. Okay, so high blood pressure, definitely, it's kind of a vicious cycle, because high blood pressure can cause damage to the kidney, but also if your kidneys are damaged, it can cause high blood pressure. So they go hand in hand. Another one is low vitamin D. The kidney helps convert the inactive vitamin D to an active vitamin D. So it's very important that you get vitamin D, because it's important in that conversion process. And without good kidney function, you're not going to be able to change vitamin D into its active form. So you're going to have a vitamin D deficiency despite how much vitamin D you take. So a lot of you are like, I need to take vitamin D. I need to take vitamin D. Well, if you have kidney damage, and you can take all the vitamin D in the world, but it's not going to filter, and it's not going to convert that inactive form to the active form. Okay. The other things that having low vitamin D can do is cause calcification of your arteries, arteriosclerosis, kidney stones, calcium and building up of the arteries, calcium and building up in the eyes, and calcium building up in the nerves as neuritis. And the list just goes on and on and on and on, okay? So again, your kidney plays an important role in that conversion of vitamin D. So you got to get the kidneys healthy in order to do that, but you also, if your kidneys are not working right, you're going to be low in vitamin D, okay? So do you see how it kind of works both ways? Okay, so the other symptom is very acidic urine. Your urine becomes very acidic from an imbalance of ammonia, because ammonia is very alkaline and it's not able to buffer things that well. So then you have ammonia building up in certain places in the body and not others, and it throws off your pH. The other reason why you can become too acidic, especially if you're diabetic, is that you're running out of insulin, And if you're running out of insulin and you have uncontrolled blood sugars, you have to watch out for something called ketoacidosis. And people get really confused about ketoacidosis because they think that ketosis and ketoacidosis are the same thing, and they're not. Nutritional ketosis is very different from ketoacidosis. Ketoacidosis occurs when you're a diabetic and you're not either on your medication or you're running out of insulin. Your pancreas is not working right and you don't have enough insulin in your system. Okay, so just make sure that you understand the difference. Okay, another symptom, this is actually kind of rare, but I've seen it. It's called uremic frost, and it's when things are backing up into the system, especially uric acid, and it's backing up through the skin or on your scalp, and it's causing these white little specks, kind of like frost on your skin. You can see that on her. It's also, you see it a lot on the scalp. Okay, and that's because that uric acid, urea it's called, is coming up through your skin. Okay, another major symptom is extreme fatigue. You're just exhausted. And the reason is because you have too much waste, which is the urea, urea waste, because urea is a waste product of protein. Okay, and if you have too much urea in the blood, it causes you to be tired. So if you have extreme fatigue, then I would get a urine test and see how the acid is in your urine and also if you have a lot of urea in your urine. Okay, so that would be that. And then there's also something called protein in the form of albumin. And if you get this test done and you have a lot of protein in your urine, that also means your kidneys are toxic and damaged because there are little holes in the filtration units of the kidneys. And by the way, I did a video last week on foamy urine, which I talk a lot about what causes that and why, sometimes if you have foamy urine, you don't need to be worried. But sometimes if it's really foamy for a long period of time, it's because you have protein in the urine and you do need to get that checked. But not all foamy urine should be a problem. But the reason why your urine could be foamy is because there's too much protein in there. So you want to get, a handle on that and talk to your medical doctor and get some tests done. But the main cause, okay, so now I went through the symptoms, but the main cause of kidney damage, the main one, and you can be rest assured if you have diabetes, high blood sugars and diabetes, you are impacting the way your kidneys are working. High levels of glucose flowing through the kidneys, it's like steel wool being like rubbed on the inside of your kidneys. It destroys. You guys, high blood sugar destroys the kidneys. Think about this. I talk a lot about this in this group, and I've done lots of videos on this, but you know that the levels of high glucose toxicity in the blood and what it does. Our bodies are supposed to have only 1 teaspoon of sugar in it a day. 1 teaspoon is equivalent to 1 teaspoon, which is equivalent to 80 milligrams per deciliter or 4.5 millimoles per liter. So when you're taking your blood sugars, right, on a daily basis, and if your blood sugars are 90, 100, 120, 130, or 4.6, 5.5 millimoles per deciliter, your blood sugars are high. That high chronic blood sugar, when you have high chronic blood sugar, it means that your body is unable to push that sugar and store it into the cells. And so what it's doing is it's damaging your cells on a cellular level. And all of these little glomeruli in the kidneys are damaged by that sugar. It's like shards of glass. It's trying to filter that through and it's damaging those, which is causing all that backup, which is why it's so important that you got to learn how to keep those blood sugars down and through lifestyle and dietary measures. High blood sugars are destroying your kidneys. There's no ands, if, or buts about it. You've got to get those blood sugars down. And just to top it off, the medications are not lowering the blood sugars. They're pushing them and they're trying to filter it through the organs more. So this is why the medications don't work. Okay, the medications, when you eat something, it's causing your blood sugar to elevate. Okay. The medication doesn't cause you not to eat the food. Anytime you eat food, if it's bad food or food that's high in glucose or the conversion is high, it converts to glucose quickly, your body's going to have high blood sugar. It doesn't matter if you take a pill or not. After you eat the pill, or after you eat and then you take the pill is only pushing it into already stuffed cells and stuffed organs. You see what I'm saying? So what the medication, so now your body has to filter the medication through those little filters in the kidney, and it has to try to filter all of that sugar through the kidney to push it out as excrete as urine, and it has to try to push it into other places in the body. It's destroying your kidneys, you guys. So the medication is not going to ever work, ever, never. What's going to work is figuring out, learning how to get those blood sugar levels down by your dietary choices, and we'll talk about that too in a little bit. Number 2, high insulin. Similar reasons as blood sugars. High insulin in the body is an indication you have high blood sugars. And insulin is very anabolic and it's very inflammatory. So if you have high blood sugars, you always are going to have high insulin. And then the higher the insulin, the more you will get insulin resistance, which means that your blood sugars stay high, they stay high, they stay high, and that's more pressure on your kidneys. The other one is high blood pressure, believe it or not, right? A lot of times, high blood pressure is caused by diabetes because glucose is hardening the arteries, increasing the pressure because there's no elasticity. Okay, you guys? So if you have high blood pressure, it could be because of the kidneys being damaged, but also because the high glucose has caused the arteries to harden, which is also increasing the pressure. So it's all very related. Like I said, it's never just one thing. And then the other main cause of kidney damage is polycystic kidney disease. And this is pretty much more of a genetic and hereditary issue. But this manifests when you get kidney damage because the genes usually are expressed or get triggered more when the body becomes toxic. Okay, so these are when little cysts develop all over the kidneys, and most of the time this is a hereditary thing that's just accentuated when you get kidney disease. Okay, you guys? So what do we do? Where in the world do we start this healing process? Here, you guys got to take notes because this is where you got to start. The first thing is you have to change your diet. You have to change your diet. Okay, you've got to consume leafy greens and vegetables, and some of those really powerful kidney foods are asparagus. Why? Because asparagus detoxifies uric acid. Kale is loaded with tons of phytonutrients. It protects the kidneys. Celery helps to detoxify and keeps your kidneys in good health. If you have puffy eyes and edema, celery is going to be an amazing thing to help you with that because it helps you clear up that inflammation pretty quickly because of the phytonutrients specifically in celery. And so if you have any kidney issues, you absolutely should be eating a lot of celery. Fish and seafood, because again, fish and seafood have lower amounts of chemicals in them. And you don't want, if you have high protein in your urine, obviously you don't want to eat too much protein, but reason is because it's not about the quantity, it's the quality of the food. So if you're eating chicken and beef and all of these eggs and fish and all these that are so high in pesticides and hormones and they're GMO and they're not organic, again, you're filtering all of those chemicals and preservatives through the filtering system in your body, which is your kidneys, and it gets overused and damaged, and those, all of that is what's causing the damage in the kidneys. Okay, so you always want to eat organic as much as possible, and if you're eating grass-fed organic beef, I would always do bison because that's just a cleaner form of meat, but for sure eggs and fish are going to be your better option. Also, you want to make sure that you're consuming sea salt or salt. You're being told not to have salt. It's important that you do have salt because part of the reason why you have fatigue is because your muscles aren't getting enough sodium, and That's a whole nother class. I think I've done classes on salt, but you do need salt. Because that's very important. Also, if you're drinking coffee, make sure it's organic because coffee is full of pesticides and mold, and that's also going to be causing a lot of problems with your kidneys function. Also, if you are not drinking enough water, you want to make sure that you at least get 2.5 liters per day. This is going to help keep your kidneys from concentrating the concentration of the fluid so that you won't develop stones. Okay. So number one, first and foremost, you've got to change your diet, consume more of these really good organic vegetables that are full of phytonutrients and full of things that will help detoxify your kidney. You have to intermittent fast. Intermittent fasting is going to allow your body to rest by not eating. It's going to help your blood sugars. It's going to help with giving your kidneys a rest. If you don't know how to intermittent fast, you have to learn how. I have a whole course that teaches you how to do it, and you are being told wrong how to fast. And a lot of you are doing fasting wrong. A lot of you are saying, I'm going to go on a fast, and you try to go on a 3-day or 4-day fast right out of the gate, and you're going to fail every time. That's the wrong way to do it. When you go on a fast that quickly, most of you aren't nutrified. And when you do that, it's just going to put more stress on your body because you're not nutrified before you do a fast. Also, when you intermittent fast, you got to do intermittent fasting correctly. A lot of you are intermittent fasting, but you're snacking and you're thinking that's a part of the fast. It's just you're doing it wrong. So you have to learn how to intermittent fast appropriately and correctly. And again, I can help you with that. You have to reduce your stress. So many of you guys are so stressed out. And I hear I'm talking not only emotional stress, but physical stress. When you have kidney damage, your body is stressed out. So there's more than just emotional stress I'm talking about here. But when you are emotionally stressed, your cortisol is raising. When your cortisol is raising, you are increasing your blood sugars. When you're increasing your blood sugars and your cortisol is elevated, you're activating your sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight, that is slowing down your digestion and it's slowing down the process of your bodies, which is why a lot of you have incomplete digestion. You see what I'm saying? So there's just a lot to be said about reducing your stress. You have to add potassium, except the only time you don't want to add potassium if you're at the end, like you have stage 4 kidney failure, then you don't want to, or even stage 3 kidney disease, you don't. But even if you have stage 1 or 2, potassium is so important because it protects the kidneys. It protects the kidneys. You can consume high potassium foods like anything green, or you can take it in the form of a supplement, but I prefer getting potassium from your foods. It's more of a natural source. So low potassium is going to cause kidney damage, and low potassium will cause high blood pressure. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are having enough potassium. And potassium and salt go hand in hand. They work back and forth. Okay, so again, if you have high blood pressure, you probably have low potassium, and you probably have kidney damage. So it's all like a big circuit. So you need to find somebody that can kind of help you manage all of that together. Vitamin D. If you have kidney issues, you are going to be low in vitamin D. And if you're low in vitamin D, then you're also going to be low in calcium. And then there's another problem there, because if you're low in vitamin D, and you know you are if you have kidney issues, then you're going to be low in calcium. And then if you're low in calcium, you don't transport calcium effectively, which causes a calcium buildup. You see what I'm saying? So again, you need to hire a nutritionist who can help you with all of this, in addition to help you get off medications. So these are my suggestions. If you know how to change your diet, do that. If you start intermittent fasting, reducing your stress, add some potassium, add some vitamin D, hire somebody that can help you get off medications and assist you with managing all of these, you will be in good shape. Okay? So let's repeat. The number one cause of damaging the glomeruli, and say that 5 times fast, in your kidneys, the filtration system, is high blood sugars and diabetes. So a lot of you, I hear this all the time. A lot of you come to me in this group and say, I'm not diabetic, I'm not pre-diabetic. But then I get on a consultation with me and I find out that your blood sugars are, your A1C is higher than what you think it is, or that you have insulin resistance, which insulin resistance, if you have high insulin, it's also causing damage and inflammation. So you guys are not, it's not your fault. I don't want to keep saying you guys. I'm saying it's not your fault because you guys are not being properly guided. You're being told by your medical doctors and they're not doing all the right tests. And then you're being told that you don't have diabetes or you're not pre-diabetic. And then you're going on with your life. And then all of a sudden now you're having kidney issues. Or the other opposite issue, or you are told you have diabetes and you're being put on all these medications, not fixing the underlying root cause, which is not being on medication and lowering the blood sugars and getting on a right nutritional plan that creates balance in the body, right? And then you end up on the medications, you end up with kidney damage. So you have to take this seriously, you guys, because your kidneys are a very important part of your body and how you feel, and very important part of the health of your cells in your body. And so you got to take good care of them. Now, I know you're going to ask me a question. Well, what if you already been diagnosed with stage 2 or stage 3 or whatever? Can kidney damage be reversed? Absolutely, but not in the way that you're being told. You're being told that you need to take dialysis, or you need to, go on a diuretic, or you need to keep going on medications or whatever it is, right? And that's just not the right way. Okay, it's just not the right way. You have to do some of these things I'm teaching. You got to hire somebody, or find somebody that will help you do it the right way, because the medical doctors, they will treat it. They're good at treating it. They'll treat it, but it's not going to reverse it. Okay, so your option is, do you want to keep treating it? That's your option. You can do that. Or do you want to get better and reverse it? So you got to go to the right person for the right outcome. If you want to keep treating it and get medication for it, then you go to your physician, perfect, and get the testing for the thing, you go to them. If you want to actually learn how to heal it, learn how to, be able to fix the imbalance, fix the root cause, then you want to, do it this way. And there's tons of videos in this group. If you go to the videos tab, there's tons of videos in this group. You guys will be able to watch a lot of videos in here. And I teach you a lot. So you can start implementing a lot of these things. Always check with your doctor, though, first. You always have to check with your doctor, especially when it comes to liver disease or kidney disease, because you never want to cold turkey go off medications, cold turkey do anything until you talk to him. And if you work with me, I work with your physician to manage it with them. But you never want to play around with kidney disease if you don't have a specialist or a person that knows what they're doing on a dietary arena before you do that. Okay? So the body is an amazing thing. If we can just treat it right and understand what it needs, it will do amazing things. It wants to heal. But when you're being told that you need drugs all the time, and you're not being told, that nutrition actually is your medicine, right? Food is your medicine. Drugs aren't your medicine. Food is your medicine. Drugs are not. Drugs are treatment plans that cause chronic inflammation and toxicity in the body. They might treat a symptom short term, but never heals the body. And a drug will always have an additional implication. So you'll have a drug for one thing and it might suppress that symptom, but then there'll be another symptom that arises due to the drug that you're taking for one symptom. And then eventually even that symptom will start to get immune to that drug, and then you'll have to take more. Or your doctor, how many times has your doctor switched up your medications, right? Because one doesn't work anymore, right? You see what I'm saying? medicine, food, the right combination. But here's the last thing I want to say, because I don't want to get too whatever. But even food, if you have diabetes or inflammation or chronic fatigue, whatever, if you have any sort of inflammation in your body's not even absorbing all the vitamins that you need. It's not absorbing it to its full potential because of the inflammation in your gut. And what causes inflammation? What doesn't? Medications and stress and all those things I showed you early on, right? So when you have inflammation in the body and you're not even absorbing what, if you're eating, you think you're eating healthy, food is very depleted too of its nutrients. Our food is very depleted because our soil is depleted. Plus, you're not even absorbing it because you have inflammation in your gut. So really, when you're eating healthy, are you really getting what you need? We got to fix the gut. We got to get you on high quality foods. We got to get you on high quality supplementation. I mean, you're just being told all the wrong things all the time. And so this is why I'm here. This is why I'm in this group. And this is why I'm educating you guys, so that you guys can start to learn and start to apply these things and get healthier. I love all of you very much. I will see you next week. And I am going to put up my last slide, which is going to tell you how to get on my VIP list. So if you go to the DLCA, you can click on the link there and join my email list so that you will always know when I will be opening up my academy again, or so I can send you a bunch of really cool information. Also, you'll learn what topics I will be doing on Wednesdays. Have a good night, everybody.
With every step we take, key out to the base, strolling so casual.